Chapter 832, Reunion. The rotting chunks of flesh on the blue-black corpse's neck and head began to wriggle and merge back together. It felt as if the whole world started to shake, with the void around them creaking. Bangs, bangs, bang. It was as if something outside the void was pounding forcefully, trying to get in. Crack, a strange, ethereal breaking sound came from afar, piercing Lumien's ears. Is Hand-Bro trying to get in and reunite with its body? Is the breaking sound a sign that the seal is temporarily broken? Lumien, with his eyes still tightly shut, could only speculate from the sounds he heard and the movements he felt. Just as these thoughts crossed his mind, he heard the metallic, scraping voice of an iron puppet several meters away. Next to the assembled corpse, the space is cracking like glass. This was Albus, relaying to Lumien what he saw through the iron puppet and the detail he thought was most important. Unable to see, Lumien had teleported near Albus. He had to avoid the impact zone and Julie's location while staying away from the abscessed hand's corpse. The choices were limited, making an encounter with Albus likely. Cracking like glass, hearing Albus's description, Lumien suddenly had a realization. He had been puzzled by Julie's display of confidence and the terrifying commotion she created. He felt that if he hadn't teleported away in time, he would surely have died from such an attack. This exceeded his assessment of Julie's strength, making him suspect she was in a state of divine descent, though it clearly didn't seem that way. Now Lumien had a vague guess. Amid the intense shaking of the ground, Albus stopped using the iron puppet's voice and spoke directly. Do you think it looks like a mirror shattering? A mirror? Yes. Lumien instantly understood the situation. This is the mirror world. This is an extension or projection of that special mirror world around 001. After Julie and Celeste reached their destination, they set a trap, creating an entrance to the mirror world at the Corpse Mountain's entrance. So, whether it was Wanak, Albus, or himself, none of them saw the two demonesses when they peered into the corridor, but were attacked after entering. The Demoness of Black had told Franca that the Demoness sect once controlled that special mirror world, losing some control after the War of the Four Emperors and further diminishing after the Pale Disaster. At this moment, Julie must have already worn the divine artifact left by the primordial demoness, possessing various special powers. One of these might be the limited use of the special mirror world's power. With the special mirror world's support, she could launch such a terrifying attack. If my guess is correct, and this really is the mirror world. Lumien felt the world shaking, listened to the sounds of the void breaking, and the commotion caused by Julie and Wanak attacking the abscessed hand's corpse. He suddenly turned his head towards Albus. He asked in a deep voice, "Is Julie blindfolded?" "No," Albus replied firmly. As expected, Lumien decisively opened his eyes. If this truly was the mirror world, there was no need to worry about 001's power leaking out and creating a corresponding mirror person through the eyes, the mystical window of the soul. In the next second, scenes filled Lumien's vision. Fallen soldiers in iron-black armor like stalks of straw, the Corpse Mountain several hundred meters to the side, Julie standing on icy steps with an unlit lantern by her feet, and Wanak with dark red flames burning in his eye sockets. At this moment, Julie and Wanak both saw the bluish-black corpse of the abscessed hand as the primary target, launching rounds of attacks. To them, it seemed more dangerous than each other, Lumien or Albus. Indeed, Albus's voice carried a hint of laughter. He even sighed in relief, without hiding it when Lumien looked over. Lumien's thoughts raced, quickly understanding what Albus meant by indeed. This guy was also guessing this is the mirror world but couldn't be sure, so he encouraged me to open my eyes to verify. Damn it, that's so sneaky. Good thing I was certain before I opened my eyes. In Lumien's sight, Albus, in his black jacket with red patterns and hair like burning flames, removed the burned blindfold and laughed. No wonder that demoness kept carrying a lit lantern, to mislead us into not thinking this was the mirror world. No wonder nothing happened when her lantern went out, truly insidious. Are you any less insidious? Lumien replied, just as the abscessed hand's corpse experienced a sudden change. The surrounding void cracked like glass struck by a fist, dense white cracks spreading outward, becoming sparse and transparent. Cracked. The cluster of dense white cracks shattered, and a rotting, pus-dripping, bluish-black swollen hand flew in. The abscessed hand finally broke through the barriers and arrived here. As soon as it appeared, it used spirit world traversal to place itself directly at the severed wrist. Seeing this, Julie had a strong sense of foreboding. She immediately let the sapphire ring on her left hand amid a faint light. Next, she let her hands fall and then lifted them from below. The ground shook violently, and a small volcano quickly formed under the bluish-black corpse of the abscessed hand, spewing out red-white lava and clouds of dust. This immediately engulfed the bluish-black rotting corpse, melting its flesh and attempting to solidify it within the volcanic rock. Wanak, with dark red flames in his eye sockets, had blood slowly oozing from his brow, twisting into a strange pattern. As this change occurred, Wanak raised his right hand. The dead soldiers in iron-black armor lying on the ground stood up again, their eye sockets rekindling with pale or dark red flames. Wanak then formed an almost entirely green flame spear with a hint of blazing white, hurling it at the bluish-black corpse struggling in the fierce lava. The undead soldiers followed suit, creating blazing white flame spears, mimicking Wanak's action and throwing them at the target. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The flame spears nearly obscured half the sky. Seeing this, Albus moved towards the entrance, with Lumion silently following. Soon, the flame spears covered the bluish-black corpse of the abscessed hand, tearing it into countless small chunks of rotting flesh. These pieces ignited, falling into the red-white lava. Suddenly, a part of the lava unexpectedly caved in, and the flaming, rotting flesh seemed to be drawn by an invisible force, gathering together. In the blink of an eye, the bluish-black corpse reappeared in the lava and flames. The rotting flesh on its surface peeled off in pieces with flames, revealing fresh, vibrant flesh and pale skin as healthy as if it hadn't seen sunlight for a long time. Julie and Wanak's attacks continued, with hailstones like cannonballs, black flames, lightning strikes, and flying fireballs. But the damage couldn't keep up with the reassembly and healing speed of the abscessed hand's complete body. Within seconds, the charred skin and rotting flesh on the abscessed hand's face also fell off, revealing a delicate, handsome face. Thick, long black eyelashes fluttered, and beneath the soft, pale eyelids, the eyes began to move slowly. Whether living in the demoness's circle like Julie, frequently dealing with demonesses like Lumion, or the deeply rooted Albus Medici, as well as the uniquely conditioned Wanak, they all held their breath at this moment, briefly entranced by the indescribable beauty. It was like admiring a perfect, timeless work of art. They didn't notice their hair growing visibly, previous injuries healing rapidly, and consumed spirituality replenishing as if a rainstorm had filled numerous evaporated lakes. They saw that on the flawless but slightly feminine face, under the high nose bridge, the just right lips parted slightly, revealing clean white teeth. The entirely white yet clearly muscular and perfectly proportioned body was completely exposed. Seeing what was between the abscessed hand's legs, Julie instinctively swallowed, clenching her right hand. The perfect body leaned back slightly, seemingly in some pain. His chest began to swell, his nether region shrinking rapidly, and his body's lines softened. He grew increasingly beautiful, nearing the limit of perfection. But this transformation was stalled, as if missing some crucial element to succeed. Taking advantage of this stall, Albus broke free from the stunning beauty's shock and immersion, touched the stubble around his mouth, burned it off with flames, and slightly frowned at Lumion. "What kind of monster did you put together?" Lumion, barely recovering, chuckled, "I don't know either." Albus was momentarily speechless. Lumion's gaze lingered on the complete corpse of the abscessed hand. Indeed, it was a bro, but he seemed to be turning into a sister. But if this change is due to beyonder characteristics, like a witch's, the gender should be fixed, not reverting to male after death and then turning female upon resurrection. This feels more like corruption. He was killed and sealed in pieces before the corruption could fully change his body, to prevent his reassembly and revival and the return of the corruption. Now, what's stopping that corruption from fully transforming him? Is it an issue with the source of the corruption or something special about Morora? Just as Lumion made some guesses based on his limited mystical knowledge, he saw the white eyelids of the abscessed hand twitch and slowly open. They revealed a pair of beautiful, crystalline scarlet eyes.